gentleman made a video about my red states financing, or blue states financing red states, one of my videos about that subject, and he did sort of his own reply video, and I have been sent this video or tagged in this video more times than I care to count, so let's take a look at the video and reply to it.
We would no longer be losing $8.2 billion a year to red states, which means we could pay off our unpaid bills, we could cover our deficit, and put enough money towards our unpaid bills that we could have it paid off in, whatever the math is there, 7, 8, 9 years. And at that point in time, we, Illinois, would be running a $3.3 billion surplus, roughly.
So everybody, that's Tom, and Tom believes that the reason that Illinois is running a very, very high deficit right now is because they are subsidizing red states. As someone that's from a red state, I want to break something down for Tom here. First off, Tom, as a resident of Texas, I do not pay state income tax as you do in Illinois. I do pay property taxes, which is probably where a majority of our state's taxes come from. Now, one of your big complaints was that the states are not taxing their citizens enough to cover their bills. Well, let's just take a look at Texas really quick. Now, Tom, as you can see here, we're currently running a $24 billion surplus in Texas. All of this without charging Texas residents state income tax. And the budget for the next 2 years has already been approved by the Texas State Legislature, $337 billion. And of that $337 billion budget, approximately $40 billion is still on the table as a surplus. One of the things that Texas plans to do with these surplus funds is to offer things like school improvements and property tax relief, something that we've been trying to get here in Texas for quite a while. So what that basically breaks down to is policy between red states and blue states. Our red state here in Texas has been running budget surpluses for years without charging state income tax to its residents. You are of the impression that Illinois is subsidizing red states and not getting all of its federal funds returned to it. Again, you're also running state income tax. It could be a spending issue. It could be a spending problem. Everybody, I encourage you to go watch Tom's video and just see what he has to say about it. The comparisons that he makes, having a $5,000 household budget, but spending $7,000 and borrowing $2,000 from your neighbor, but the neighbor not getting all of their money returned to them. It's really quite fascinating to see the welfare mentality of the left. Give me your thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like, follow, and share. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, so that's the gentleman's reply video. Now allow me to retort. I'm not under the impression that Illinois doesn't get all of its federal funds back. I know they don't get all of their federal funds back. And I'm not under the impression that blue states subsidize red states. I know it. But if you had dug a little bit deeper than just one video, you would have seen that I've actually done dozens of videos on this subject. And in multiple videos, I've discussed how every single blue state except one is a donor state. New Mexico is our taker state, and it's a big taker. New Mexico takes almost $3 in federal funds for every $1 it puts in. Conversely, every single red state except 3 are taker states. And I have said in dozens of videos that those 3 states, one of them is either Nebraska or Oklahoma, and then it's Florida, and it's Texas. Those are the states that we don't fund. I've said that over and over and over again. So when I say blue states fund red states, it's with the exception of Florida, Texas, and one other state. I'd have to go back and look up that one other state. And it's not, I'm not of the belief that this happens. It's factual that this happens. Once again, the most and least federally dependent states. When you look at the top of the list, let's just go from number 1 on down to number 15. Red state, red state, red state, red state, blue state, red state, red state, red state, red state, red state, red state, blue state, blue state, blue state. It's littered with red. Now work from 50 back up. Blue state, blue state, blue state, blue state, red state, red state, blue state. Oh, look at there. Illinois there, 43rd most federally dependent. You guys clock in at 38, and you guys are doing great, but it's not, I'm not making this information up. It's factual. We are a donor state. Most red states are taker states. When you look at the list of states that paid more into federal revenue than they got back, you will see here there are some blue states, there are some red states. Illinois is one of those states that's a donor state. And when you look at the list of states that paid, that the federal government paid more for than they took in, you'll see a mixture of states, but mainly you're going to see a lot of red states. When you take a look at the list of donor states, you will see that Illinois gets back 76 cents for every $1 it puts in. It's actually gone up. It used to be 68 cents for every $1 it puts in. So we give the federal government $1. We generate, hang on. So we generate $1 here in Illinois in federal funds. That money is generated by Illinois workers and Illinois companies, with Illinois businesses, and that dollar gets put into the federal fund, and we get back 76 cents. I'm not making that up. That's factual. And yes, you guys do have a fantastic budget down there in Texas. Do you know what helps drive your budget in Texas? Migrants, my guy. Migrants, the very people that your party is looking to kick out of this country. Immigrants are crucial to Texas's economy. Immigrants make up a quarter of Texas's labor force, 23%, according to a FWD.US analysis of the most recent U.S. Census Bureau data, nearly doubling the share from 3 decades ago. With more than 3.7 million workers, Texas has America's second largest immigrant labor force after California. Texas benefits from contributions of immigrants to grow its economy, and the immigrant labor force cannot be taken for granted. Immigrants in Texas's labor force contributed an estimated $192 billion to the Texas economy annually in personal income, making up 1 in 5 of all spending power dollars in the state. Lawmakers in Austin should prioritize pro-immigrant policies that support families and that further expand immigrants' ability to contribute to Texas's economy, says this article. This is the percent of various industries that are immigrant. I just took a snapshot of the top of this list where it's all Amarillo here. Agriculture, 17%, mining, not available, construction, 23%, manufacturing, 34%, the wholesale retail, 9%, transportation, 5%, information, 20%. They make up significant chunks of certain industries, man. 51% of landscape services, 48% of in-building services, 34% of meat processing, 46% of taxi services. Yeah, they're making up a significant chunk of your economy, and your party wants to throw them out of the country. Tom, that's bullshit. It's only illegal immigrants. Bullshit. They're throwing people who are here legally out, too. The president just yesterday said he wanted to throw people who were born here out of the country. Don't give me this bullshit. We all see what's happening. So, yeah, I didn't talk about Texas. I talked about red states as a whole, but in many other videos have said that Texas and Florida are excluded from that taker mentality. But you doing well in Texas doesn't excuse how well they're not doing in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Montana, Tennessee, Kentucky. You only talked about Texas. Now talk about the rest of the red states.